Testing Tim Black's Wolf Pack. That's what we're talking about. All right. Yeah. All right. The internet can see you now. Hey, man, why you don't have on clothes? Oh, it can see me now, not you. How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Glad you could be here. What's up to all my people out there? Hope you're doing well and you survived another Corona shutdown weekend. What's up, people on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and even Twitch? That's right, guys. I went back to Twitch because it's there. And I have an account and I have a page, so why not use that channel? And if anybody wants to watch on Twitch and kind of be in your own space, it'll be like pay-per-view, like you know, personal, your own personal platform to watch the show on. Go ahead over there because it's pretty empty. For now, till the word gets out. Then it's going to be packed. All right, y'all. So let's make sure we're live streaming everywhere. Let's make sure everybody can hear everything before we get into it. Wow. Facebook, what's up, Facebook? Margarita Silverpots. Ryder, Dion, Victoria, Jasmine, Pamela, Nicole, Badra, Ahmed, Rita, Uli, Debbie, Nicole. Oh, man, we got a nice crowd on Facebook. What's up, Facebook? What's up, Aaron and Tyler and Gina and John and Anita and Mary and Mike and Michael and Victoria and PJ and Jerry and Laura. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's up, Cynthia and Evan and Jasmine once again? And say hello, Helen and Lily and Laura and Jessica and Virgil and Pillar and Diane. All right. So look, thank you guys for being here. Please share this on your social media. That'd be great, guys. I appreciate you. Let people know you're watching the show, unless that is, you know, unless you're ashamed of me. Oh, Facebook. Hold on a second. Oh, Facebook, guys. We had an impressive weekend on Facebook. That's right. We had a very impressive weekend on Facebook, guys. Facebook people, first of all, let me thank all my people in the Tim Black Facebook subscriptions, Tim Black Wolfpack on Facebook. You guys pumped us up on a watch party of a video I put out about Joe Biden. Remember that video, Joe Biden with Anderson Cooper, the interview? It was a town hall, but it was really an interview. Bunch of softballs. But Joe still couldn't hit him. He was just swinging at the air, just, pow, softball. You know, you're supposed to try to hit the balls, Joe. I'm hitting the ball. Malarkey, get out of here. Pow. He was trying to shoot the balls as they were pitching the balls over the plate. Anderson was tossing the balls nice and slow, and Joe was over there. He picked up his tennis racket, was trying to hit him. Anyway, the point is this. That particular video, it's like 11 minutes, okay? It did very well on Facebook over the weekend. In fact, I forgot that I even put it up, and I went to upload another video to Facebook, and it said, your video is going very well. So it was at 1.2 million when I first checked, and last time I looked, it was like 1.7 million people who had watched it. But 3 million people saw it. So, yeah. So anyway, it raises a lot of awareness, lets people know about the show that we do, and it lets them be like, okay, hey, maybe I should check this show out. You know, maybe I should. So that's what it does. It's like, it's not a money thing. It's about awareness for our show and awareness for our community. So once again, thank you, Facebook, for making that happen. I appreciate you, everybody on Facebook. You guys are amazing. My moderators, the people that keep the chat going, and all the folks who watch and share, and all the folks who support the show on Facebook. Thank you so much. You are the best, Johnson. Now, I got a show for you, Facebook. Now, YouTube people. See how it's done, YouTube peoples? See how they stepped up for us? Got us that love on Facebook? Facebook people is doing their thing, but don't forget YouTube. We got Tatiana and Joe and Princess and Brad and Carl and Maker of Things and Tanya and Jilly Love and Rom and Susan and David in the house. Everybody accounted for. Thank you so much, YouTube people. Ike, Andy, and Chester Williams, and the whole crew, Johnny and Carrie, and Susan and Brandon. And it's like, David, I know it's not for lack of trying, right? My people, Mark and Mikey and Nikki, because YouTube's different in how it lets you see, how it lets videos be accessed, right? So it is what it is. I could sit here and pretend that I know why certain videos do well and other videos do horrible. My coronavirus video recently with the young lady Diane and her husband, I thought it would do well. 2,000 views. I don't know. It is what it is, you know. Very important video about a misdiagnosis of coronavirus. Not even the basic attention paid to the patients, and it's on camera, it's on film, and YouTube's like, nah, yeah. Nobody wants to see that. No one cares about people getting the wrong diagnosis when they go in, you know. No one cares about that. It's not important. About a doctor giving out bad information to patients, potentially killing people. Who cares? Hey, YouTube's about cat videos and eating hot wings. Who can eat the most hot wings and shove them down their face hole? Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about that and bad comedians driving cars or sitting in coffee shops or on quarantine, and every major star now on YouTube because, you know, they got their quarantine, so now they have to slum it on YouTube with us and hang out and pretend like they give a damn about connecting with their audience who they despise. For the most part, they run away from them. But now they're like all up and chummy, you know, haven't built a relationship at all with any of their viewers, and now all of a sudden they want to be intimate. It comes across really hacky, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know they don't care about you, don't you? You do know they don't care about you, right? That's why they got all the security. Keep you from them. That's what it's for. They never check comment settings before. They never look to see what you guys, come on. Oh, you thought Trevor Noah cared about you. Oh. Jimmy Kimmel actually cares. With Susie Teddy Bear 23 thanks on YouTube. Yeah, he really cares. All right. No, it's just to take our presence away, take our revenue away. Squeeze this out, get all more for their networks. That's what this is for. It's not to help you. Screw the little guy. So anyway, guys, so we got a show. I got a show tonight. I got a couple things I want to hit. Remember, based on all the love I've been getting, and now look, I was supposed to save this because I'm trying to expand my stuff on Facebook. We're trying to blow the Tim Black Wolfpack up on Facebook. We've been working on it for years, okay? But I said, what the heck? It's too important. I can't wait. We're going to make it to our benchmark on Facebook, which is to get, I think it's 100 subscribers on Facebook, 100 Wolfpack members on Facebook. We're at like 70, and I was like, screw it, we just do it. We opened up a second phone day. So our second phone day is Tuesdays, right? Tuesdays, to go along with Fridays. So Tuesdays is Tim Black Tuesdays. Hashtag TB Tuesdays. And we have phone lines open on Tuesdays as well, guys. So that's what's one of the things that makes us different. Is not just my bald head and my sunny disposition and my rants. No, it's also the fact we open up phone lines twice a week and we have amazing people call up. And we got the best damn chat in the business. So, like, if you add these things together, you got yourself something pretty good going on, you know? Pretty remarkable. One of the things we pride ourselves on, guys, if you happen to be new, if you're one of those new people that find us on Facebook over the weekend, we pride ourselves on telling the truth. That's right. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Keep it 100. If you're a little older, keep it real. You know, if you're a part of the movement, you may say, speak truth to power, brother. All right, we'll take that too. That's what we try to do on this show. And we don't concern ourselves much with feelings. Nothing more than feelings. We also don't concern ourselves much with, I hope we don't piss off the people that, the powerful people. In fact, we like pissing off powerful people. Nothing makes our day more than pissing off a powerful scumbag who thinks they get to control the narrative because somebody gave them a job at a big company. Yeah, to us, that's like feeding a rattlesnake a squirrel or something. We like that. Yeah, we like when they pretend that because they got a job to lie to us, that we're supposed to let them lie and just mind our business and let the lies prevail. Nah, we don't do that here. Here we call it out. So that's one of the things we do on this show. Also, another thing we do is we say harsh truths. Yeah, it's not something that's very popular on the internet. You would think it would be. Like when the internet first started, before big money came into the internet, there were a lot more people saying harsh truths. It was sort of like the cornerstone of what made YouTube great, what made digital content great, that all other platforms started to follow, was the ability to just call it as you see it, make noise, and just call it out. That's changed a little bit now that people have big audiences. Some of them make millions of dollars or close to it. They got a lot on the line, and they become more like corporate media than they probably ever imagined. Which brings us to our first story. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah. You guys sharing this? Where are we at? I'm about to get into this. I'm wondering. All right. Guess people think it's not going to be interesting. Hey, I think it will be. Let me start off by saying this. Well, let me not say it. Let me show it to you. Here is the article which kind of brought this issue to light, okay? I want a picture. Where's the picture of this article? Hey, what happened to the... Oh, okay, my bad, guys. Hold on, let me get you the picture of the article, because I think people prefer when they can see the picture. Yeah, the Politico. There you go. So you guys know what I'm talking about. So let me pull a picture of that Political article real quick. I thought I had it here, but let's see. History. Because everyone wants to know. Well, I think they would want to know. Hold on, guys. Hold tight with me. I hate to do this, but I think you need to know to be able to see it. Here we go. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, I don't think I took a picture of this. So people might want to see the actual article just for references. Okay. So this is the article, guys. Once more moment. Let me save it here. Save Politico article. And put that here. Bam. Bam. This is the article we'll be referencing, guys, in the description box below. I'm going to put a link to the article as source material for anybody who wants to go back and do their own little research on it or read the article in its entirety. I will be reading some of it, right, just so that we know what we're talking about here. Here's the article. Now, this was posted in Politico, okay? Okay. AOC breaks with Bernie on how to deal with the left. How to deal with the left, okay? The Congresswoman is declining to back primary challengers following in her footsteps and working within the system in Congress. Okay? So that's what the article says. And that's what the article is about. And it's also insinuating that she is, in essence, dividing the left. Okay? Okay. Good. That's where we are. Okay. So that's the article. That's what we're referencing. Now, it goes on. It starts off by talking about how she came into Congress as an underdog, how her herself was challenging an incumbent, the upset primary victory against the Democratic Party boss in 2018, ushers in the AOC, and how that was a unlikely long shot. But what it also was challenging the establishment. That's how she got in Congress. Challenging the establishment. And those who supported her challenged the establishment. And all the voters who went out and said, hey, get that guy Crawley out of here. Let's go with the young lady who was tending bar a few months ago who has no political experience at all. What were they doing, folks? They were challenging the establishment. And probably some of them just was like, hey, let's give her a shot. What the hell? But in the end of the day, it was challenging the establishment. Okay, so, and it says at one point she was endorsing different folks who were doing the same thing as her in the next cycle. What I'm asking for you to do is to support my sister Cori Bush. Now, we know Cori Bush ran for Congress in Missouri. Cori Bush is a friend of my show, of this show, of the Wolfpack. She came on the show. I interviewed her a couple months ago. And Cori Bush, if you are watching, I hope you get better soon. Cori Bush, my friend, is in the hospital. She put out a tweet today saying that she has pneumonia. So we are concerned, and we have her in our thoughts. So it says, what I'm asking you to do is support my sister Cori Bush. Now, this was AOC. It's so important what we did. We just came off this in New York, but people were trying to say it's just one place. So we all know that Cori Bush ended up losing that race to Representative William Lacey Clay again in August primary. And then what they're saying is, though Cori Bush now has more money, she has more name recognition, obviously, not just because of the run, because, you're first-time politician in the limelight in a race, and then that gives you more cachet. But also, she was in that Netflix special, Tearing Down the House or Burning Down the House. I always get that wrong. Waking Up the House or Shaking Up the House. Somebody else knows it. But it was on Netflix. So it was her, Paula, what's my sister's name? Damn. It was three young ladies in the video. Vicky? No. Now I'm guessing. So anyway, her profile is raised, but Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, is not backing Cori this time. And it says, of course, though Ocasio encouraged progressives to follow in her footsteps and run for Congress with the backing of left-wing group Justice Democrats, even if it meant taking on powerful incumbents. And it says 16 months later, the Missouri primary isn't the only one Ocasio is steering clear of. Of the half dozen incumbent primary challengers Justice Democrats is backing this cycle, Ocasio has endorsed only 2. Neither was a particularly risky choice. Both candidates, Jessica Cisneros in Texas and Marie Newman in Illinois, were taking on conservative Democrats who oppose abortion rights and later earned the support of several prominent national Democrats. Ocasio-Cortez's reluctance marks a break with the outsider tactics of the activist left, represented by groups like the Justice Democrats. This election cycle, the organization's trying to boot not just conservative Democrats, but also some liberal Democrats, and to replace them with members who are more left-wing. In other words, to replicate what it pulled off against Representative Joe Crowley in 2018 by recruiting Alexandria Ocasio. So they go on to say that Ocasio's shift coincides with turnover among top aides in her congressional office, replacing some outspoken radicals with more traditional political officials. Along with a broadening reckoning on the left on how to expand Sanders' coalition after his failure to do so in the primary. So they say that Alexandria, that AOC, is trying to do what Bernie should have done. They're saying that Bernie should have brought in more moderate figures into his campaign so he'd make more moderate type decisions, which would make him more favorable to the establishment or give him a broader base of support, not just with radical left, because we're all so radical. Wasn't healthcare and all. Radical. Ocasio's endorsement moves are not a fluke, but a part of a larger change over the last several months after her disruptive burn it down. That's it, burn it down the House. Early months in Congress, Ocasio, whose colleagues say is often conflict diverse in person, has increasingly been trying to work more within the system. She's building coalitions with fellow Democrats, members, and picking her fights more selectively. So they're saying basically that Ocasio-Cortez has modulated herself. She has become a woman. She went from a firebrand to being a match brand. She's gone from let's tear it up, let's make it up, let's reshape it all, let's rebuild it, to being like, well, you know what? I don't want to be the person not involved. I don't think maybe there's better ways to do things. Maybe we can have a consensus. Maybe we can work together. Basically, they're saying that she's trying to be reasonable in some ways, but in some other ways, she is breaking from Bernie Sanders, and not just Bernie Sanders, Justice Democrats and the other more radical type folks who wanted to change things, damn the establishment, get it done. It goes on to say, now this is important, it says, after starting some high-profile fights with Nancy Pelosi and tweaking Democratic colleagues on Twitter earlier in her tenure, Ocasio has been more conciliatory toward other House Democrats. She dubbed Pelosi the mama bear of the Democratic Party. This is a long article, but I think you get what they're saying. I guess let me add a couple more things. She did change a couple staff members that were notable. Okay, so is that here? Oh, well, first let's also put out the Neera Tanden. Okay, Neera Tanden and James Carville had some stuff to say about AOC. Okay, so the Democratic Party is a party of coalitions. It's not a cult, said James Carville, who we all loathe. A top strategist for Bill Clinton's 92 campaign, a vocal critic of Sanders during the primary. Carville went on to say about AOC, he said, I have observed her. I think she's really talented. That she's really smart. Maybe she is. I don't speak for her. Coming to the conclusion that she wants to be a part of the coalition. So he said he thinks maybe she wants to be down Johnson. Neera Tanden, the president of the liberal think tank Center for American Progress, longtime Hillary aide, bane of most existence, called Ocasio's shift a sign of leadership. Yeah, they say the modulation of Ocasio-Cortez, the softening, the moderating of Ocasio is a sign of leadership. Um, there are some people on the left who thought that their views represented a strong majority. And the primary process has shown that the voters diverged. That Sanders is winning a minority, a smaller minority than he had 4 years ago, Tandon said. Instead of supporting Justice Democrats' full slate of incumbent challengers, Ocasio launched her own PAC earlier this year and has been more focused on electing progressives to Republican-held or open seats. Ocasio declined to be interviewed, but her new communications director, Lauren Hitt, noted that the Bush's August 4th primary is still several months away and that the Congresswoman is monitoring other primaries. Anyway. So there we go. Like I said, it's a very long article, but I want to make sure you have all the context for this that you need to kind of so that you'll be able to form an opinion that's based in fact, not just what I say or what others say. Even though this is just an article with someone saying a bunch of words, which is something we're going to get to. Let's see. She's made changes beyond the rhetoric to include personnel. Two of her most senior aides who worked on her insurgent campaign and co-founded Justice Democrats have left her operation. Chief of Staff Sakat Chakrabarti in August, and Communications Director Corbin Trent earlier this month. Some associates of Ocasio thought Trent was hurting her by calling for tactics they felt were politically foolhardy. One ally recalled Trent wanted Ocasio to go beyond Medicare for All and embrace a fully nationalized healthcare system like the United Kingdom in an attempt to further stretch the boundaries of the debate. Trent defenders in the progressive world believe his willingness to make enemies and indifference to what Pelosi's thought helped push ideas like the Green New Deal into the mainstream. Trent, who is working on Sanders' presidential campaign, declined to comment. The hiring of Hitt as Trent's replacement speaks to Ocasio's new approach. So Corbin was released from Ocasio, and then he went to work for Bernie. Okay. The hiring of Hitt as Trent's replacement speaks to Ocasio's new approach. An experienced operative, Hitt has worked for moderate Democrats like Governor John Hickenlooper and Representative Beto O'Rourke. Freudian slip. She's sort of Republican. Except for take the guns thing. Which he doesn't want. He's not going to. He really wouldn't take the guns. It was something good to say, I feel, at the time. During their recent presidential bids, as well as left-wing candidates such as former New York gubernatorial candidate Cynthia Nixon. As for Chakrabarti, he was a firebrand on the Hill. After Ocasio's victory in November 2018, he earned enemies in the Democratic caucus by declaring, "We got a primary, folks." They were livid in June when he called some members New Southern Democrats. It's a lot going on, guys. It's a lot. So this article is all of it if you're looking to have something to debate. They say that Ocasio-Cortez has modulated. She is no longer she's no longer who she used to be. She's changed. So let's have that conversation, folks. Let's have a conversation. I'm going to ask the question. Has her policies changed? Some people would say maybe she has a little. I heard there's a little bit of movement on Medicare for All, a little bit more conciliatory about what it needed to be. We need to cover that. I never really got into that. So let's cut the cord. Let's cut the cake, man. Let's get down to it. I told you guys it was only one Bernie Sanders, right? Told you. I tried to tell people it was only one Bernie Sanders. So now people are waking up that maybe there's only one Bernie. After all, that Ocasio-Cortez is Ocasio-Cortez. And Pramalia Jayapal is Pramalia Jayapal. And Ilhan Omar is Ilhan Omar. And, Rashida Tlaib is Rashida Tlaib. And all people are their own selves. Elizabeth Warren is Elizabeth Warren. See how that works? Andrew Yang is Andrew Yang. And Tulsi Gabbard is Tulsi Gabbard. And everybody is their own people. They are their own individual selves. And they're going to have their own political futures or lack of political futures or whatever happens. But this who's more progressive thing, at the end of the day, there's a lot to risk to be a true progressive in the environment of political politics. It's one thing to be an activist and work like we do and do what we do. It's one thing to be a commentator or a journalist or own a network or do all the myriad of things that you may do that are involving politics and to hold fast to your ethical beliefs or what your ideology is and how you approach things. But to be in Congress, you got to be truly committed to that 100,000%. I mean, because the forces that be will come in who try to stop you. They will isolate you. They will do their best to marginalize you. Every day will be a fight for you. Is that something everybody's built for? I'm not saying Elizabeth. I'm sorry, I said Elizabeth. Wow, that's a bad slip, right? I'm not saying Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not fighting for the issue she cares about. I mean, just the other day, here she was. Remember this, guys?
I represent one of the hardest hit communities in the hardest hit city in this country, Queens, New York. 13 dead in a night in Elmhurst Hospital alone. Our community's reality is this country's future if we don't do anything. Hospital workers do not have protective equipment. We don't have the necessary ventilators. But we have to go into this vote eyes wide open. What did the Senate majority fight for? One of the largest corporate bailouts with as few strings as possible in American history. Shameful. The greed of that fight is wrong for crumbs, for our families. And the option that we have is to either let them suffer with nothing or to allow this greed and billions of dollars, which will be leveraged into trillions of dollars, to contribute to the largest income inequality gap in our future. There should be shame about what was fought for in this bill and the choices that we have to make.
Just as Democrats said that AOC remains the most anti-establishment Democrat in Congress. So, does it matter if she tries to work with others? Only if it means she compromises what she is there to do. Right? Right, Johnson? Only if it compromises what she is there to do. I tend to think it would compromise you in some ways because you're going to pull punches here and there. We are human beings. Cenk Uygur, he had something to say. Here's what Cenk Uygur had to say.
I represent one of the hardest hit communities in the hardest hit city.
Oh, damn. You guys hear any of that? A lot of progressives in this article are very nice, but my job is to keep it real. AOC's decision to work with establishment rather than challenge it is very disappointing. He said a lot of progressives in this article are nice, but my job is to keep it real. Okay, Jank, we're going to talk about that soon, brother. But I digress. Decision to work with establishment rather than challenge it is very disappointing. AOC breaks with Bernie on how to lead the left. It's not fake news. AOC has not endorsed most progressive challenges. If we're being honest, her political calculations now would lead to not endorse someone exactly like herself. That bridge was awfully nice while you were crossing it. Apparently not so much anymore. This is exactly what we were being told is just as Dems were helping get AOC elected. We didn't listen to that. And we hope to get one of the strongest progressives elected. She replaced a corrupt incumbent and made a giant difference. Well, at least that's how we used to see it. Oh, God. Ouch. Ay, 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 ay. Woo. Woo. He did go a little hard there, Jank. He tempered himself on his TYT show, though. Yeah, he backed off on TYT show. I have that clip. He modulated himself when it was time to put it out. On Twitter, he was tough. On Twitter, sounds a lot like he's calling AOC a sellout. Did AOC endorse Jank? I'm just saying, guys, we got to keep our eyes open. Did AOC endorse Jank? I don't think he did. I don't think she did. All right, here's the deal, guys. Jank says he's going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it realer. Jank, what you're doing to AOC, I do to you. And there's always someone doing it to me, which is measuring how long our progressive bona fides run. Yeah, always judging how progressive we are. Keep going, you end up in a place called no man's land where no one's good enough, and you're just basically shitting on everyone. Just because someone's not everything you want them to be does not mean they're not anything or any value to the movement. And I think that's the correct tack to take. Look, I could sit up here and I could lambast AOC. I could hit her with a barrage of words. I could call out various issues. I woke up this morning, people put this in my inbox, hoping I'd do just that. But as I've seen the deterioration of many a friend turn into a toxic member of the left community by simply firestorming and burning at the stake everyone who's not as, I don't even know what they are, but is not as pristine as them, I've decided that's not the way to go because it is unhelpful. It's unhelpful to burn at the stake your friends just because they aren't as progressive as you imagine yourself to be. It's unhelpful to tar and feather everyone and anyone who doesn't do your precise bidding. The bottom line, you have to look at it and say, are they doing any of my bidding? Are they helpful at all? Or are they a detriment? Now, that's the decision. So what I'm saying, guys, is I'm not saying us AOC couldn't endorse more people. I want her to endorse Cori Bush. I think Cori Bush would go in and do her damnest to help the people of Missouri, her district. She would go and fight for those people. That's what she would do. If she's in Congress or whatever pursuit she has, I'm sure that she politically would do whatever it takes. She is so connected with grassroots that she has too many faces to look at for her to ever go uptown Georgia Brown. For her to ever go and get all high and mighty and sedity Sadiddy, and forget where she came from and forget what she was there to do. I don't think that's the way Cori Bush is built. Okay? So, yes, I think that AOC should endorse Cori Bush and similar people. But has she endorsed anyone? And is it just who Cori Bush is running against? Maybe that's the issue. You did say she's running against a more moderate Democrat, but not a conservative Democrat who's against everything. So this creates a problem for AOC. But it is our job to push her in that direction if that's what we want. It's our job to put pressure on AOC to endorse the candidate you want. Whatever happened to political pressure? See, I think that AOC is amenable. I think she's willing to play ball with us and play ball with them. Like, look, guys, I know it's not optimal, right? But at the end of the day, we got to look at politicians as politicians and recognize we might have to call some of our friends out and lean into them. Doesn't mean throw them away. It just means we apply the pressure that is at our disposal in order to try to get them to go our way, to do the bidding for the people and to help enact policies that we want. That's our job. That's my job. Now, your job, let me rephrase. That's my job. That may not be your job. That's my job. That's what I choose to do. Because this burning people at the stakes business is not going to help us. When I push TYT, when I push Jank, I push Anna, I push John, I had the role of, when I was pushing Jimmy, I was trying. I wasn't just pushing Jimmy Dore because I hate Jimmy Dore. I don't hate Jimmy Dore. I used to consider him a friend. I was doing it because I believed he needed to come back into the Bernie camp. I really believed he could be helpful to the Bernie camp. And we needed him there, not over there. And he was going the wrong way. I really believe that. Now, it didn't work, but it was my job to force the issue. What's happening with AOC? The other side of this thing, I want people to also recognize, if it's printed in Politico, come on now. If it's printed in Politico, I saw New York Post, picked it up. It ain't to help us. All right, come on. It's not to help us. It's not like, oh, what's happening to the left? The left is going away. They're being splintered. We got to write an article to help the left get back together so they can challenge the people to put money in our pockets. Yeah, we got to help the left before they get splintered by AOC becoming more moderate away from Bernie. What's going to happen? We're not going to be able to go to fancy parties with our friends in the establishment anymore if they do that. So let's write an article to help AOC see the light of how she needs to get back with Bernie. And if there's anyone who's dumb enough to think that that was not sarcasm, or let me be very clear, that was sarcasm, Johnson. They didn't say that in that article to help AOC or Bernie or you, if you're on the left, okay? That article was written to hurt us. And you are going to help it hurt us. Okay? Don't help them. Help us. See that this is all meant to break us apart. It's to sever us further. That's what this is. Neera Tanden embracing AOC on Twitter is like when the cops want you to be a rat, so they meet you in the middle of the hood and they talk to you in front of everybody. Or they put you in the squad car and they drop you off in front of your block, in front of all the worst thugs, and say, all right, man, talk to you next week. That's the equivalent of what they're doing with AOC here. And can't you see through it, Jank? Come on, Jank. You have to see through it. Neera Tanden doesn't like AOC. She never would, never has, never will. Okay? They don't trust her. Even if they let her in, they would never trust her. They would never know if she'd go back to being her true self, which is more progressive. Now, if you don't think that, you're just a person who never trusted her, never gave her any credit at all. Okay? If you think that this whole thing, these last 2 years, has been just a ruse to fool you, well, then I don't know what to tell you about that. That's just, we have a difference of opinion of what has been displayed. Okay? So what I'm saying is, let's not fall for their trap. I'm not saying we don't vet people. I'm not saying we don't look at our people on the left, and whether they be political or journalists or content creators or activists or whoever they are. I'm not saying we don't look at them and have a stern eye and be discerning. No, be discerning, have criteria, but recognize where the information is coming from and how the narrative is being painted. Is it possible there's something she's trying to extract that's going to be helpful? I don't know. But you would like to have that conversation before you just go and burn down someone, or before you throw them out with the bathwater, because the source of the story matters. Being someone who's had people say things about me without even talking to me, it's kind of painful when people do that, especially people that you ride for, especially people that you respect or people that you care about. They form their opinions without even having a conversation with you at all. They decide that, forget this guy. This is his intention. This is what he meant. This is who he is. And I'm not even going to bother to have that conversation because, frankly, I don't want that to change because I've already made my mind up. So if I were to talk to them, then I might have to rethink and reconsider my own conclusions. So I don't think that's what we should do in this case. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. All I can say, this is going to be a long process. Vet people as we go, and as we want to push candidates to support or endorse, we should make that push, and we should push these candidates. And we should never be above pushing a candidate, whether they're a friend or foe, in the direction we want them to go. That's how they get in that direction, Johnson. They're not always going to be doing exactly what you want them to do as if they are you. That's what media is supposed to be for. That's what we're supposed to do. Your media is supposed to help push people in the right direction. It shouldn't be like, okay, they didn't choose to do what we want them to do, therefore they are garbage. You may end up being the most honorable person in the room, but it'll be an empty-ass room where nothing can get done for you. So that's not what we want. That's not the way of the wild. I mean, the way of the sensei. The sensei would say that's not the way to go. Wax on, wax off, Danielson. Hope I'm making sense here. I'm not saying that there are things in that article that raise red flags. There are. But the framing of that article, how it's been presented to me, I don't know. For AOC, I would say this. I don't know. Maybe somebody could clip it out and send it to her. Maybe I should. Let me say this. You can't serve more than one master. You're going to have to decide if you're going to be their friend or our friend. It's going to come down to that at times. And you're going to have to decide which is more important. Because when the rubber meets the road, these are decisions we must make. You can't ride the fence on everything. You can't ride the fence at pivotal moments. And if you choose to do that, well, then people will come for you. It smarts a little bit, AOC, that you decided to say Bernie supporters were toxic. You kind of went the Elizabeth Warren angle, how we were toxic online and Bernie needed to reel us in. Bernie don't control nothing we do. And if Bernie turned his back on Medicare for all, a living wage, reform of our criminal justice system, or environment correction and redefining environmental policies that make damn sense, that are sane. Like if he went against the things that he's been championing for, I'd be coming for him. Unlike some people, I'd come for him for that. Because it ain't about the person as it is about the policy. They don't want you in their group. They never did. You got gone. You did end one of their friends. They'll never forgive you for that. You'll never be forgiven for that. You'll never be trusted. The only people that trust you is us. Now, what you don't want to do is give too many of us a reason not to. All right, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Can we still work with politicians who don't do everything we want? And should we throw them to the wolves, or should we try to bend them towards our will with our influence, whatever influence that is? I think the latter, guys. I really do. It's real easy, and it's probably more exciting to say, throw them to the wolves and they're horrible. And I understand some people don't trust AOC based on some of her recent activity. But I still feel that she's done enough up to this point that she deserves the benefit of the doubt, and when in doubt, ask questions and hold them accountable. And I have no problems holding her accountable. But I'm not so sure I want to do it behind a political article that's then picked up by New York Post that has a knack for stabbing us in the back. And I know they didn't write this article to help her or Bernie or you or the progressive movement. There it is. Wow. That could have been a show by itself, man. I don't know. That's something, right? Yeah. Someone just said, Tim, it could all be staged. And someone said it could, I don't know. It could be. I really have no idea if it is. I don't know. I'm not an insider to that point. But we all make decisions, you know? I want all my people in the Wolfpack to know we always make decisions about who we want to be in this thing. I've made my decisions about who I want to be. Every person has to make the decide if they want to be with the in crew or the out crew. Like, that's what you got to do, okay? But even if you decide the in crew makes a decision about you too. So it's not like it's just up to you. So even if you decide, even if I said, hey, I want to be like Andrew Yang, I'm going to go to CNN. They'd be like, man, did you just call Don Lemon Don Limehead? And did you say Anderson Cooper was Anderson Blooper? Did you say Jake Tapper was a Tick Japper? And did you? I was like, yeah, that was me. I'm going to keep saying it too. They'd be like, well, we can't have you. I'd be like, well, thought I could be here and be myself. I guess I can't. So, like, everybody has to make their own decisions, guys. None of us decide for ourselves what the establishment wants. All we know is it wants to protect itself. It will do so. So there's some people saying Tim Black. Now, back to Jank. Now, look, guys, when I made a video that was critical of Jank, I got a lot of heat from some people who really love TYT. And I'm not saying don't love TYT. I used to say stuff like that. I did. And I was wrong to say that because love whoever you want to love. It's a free country. But criticism is valid. Okay? Jank saying Casio won't endorse these people. Jank, you just calm down, brother. Look, hey, I agree with your anger I agree with your resentment to an idea that somebody that you fought hard for to put them in a position isn't doing the same. If that's the way you see it, I can see you being upset in the moment of that. But know this, Jank, as pissed off as you are about AOC not endorsing Cori Bush as readily as you would like, or some others as readily, even yourself, know this. If Bernie doesn't win this nomination and somehow Joe Biden doesn't check himself into a mental facility, and he becomes the nominee, you're going to tell us to vote for Biden. And as angry as you are about AOC. No, I will be thrice as angry at you. Know that. See how this works? All right, guys. I'll be right back. Let's, I got another story. It's a good one. It's about healthcare. It's about Biden, Medicare for all. Stay tuned. By popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious. They are revolutionary. And they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack. Yep. Whew, boy. You guys good? Make sure the volume's working, man. It caught me with my volume not up there a minute there. You caught me with my volume down a little earlier. Made a mistake there. So we've been talking about Joe Biden, and I just referenced him a minute ago, talking about how it would be unfortunate for some people who call themselves very progressive to say, hurry up and go vote for Joe Biden. You can't tell anybody to hurry up and vote for Joe Biden. To even put that in the same sentence to me is ludicrous, okay? And there are people doing it already, like, hey, let's let you know, I'm going to be telling you to vote for Biden soon. And all those people out there that are saying voting for Biden is a viable option for people that call themselves progressive or are truly invested and want to support and want to see Medicare for all, $15 a minimum as a minimum wage, and other changes in our system that matter. I want to share with you a clip of Joe Biden having a conversation about his real intentions and how he feels about Medicare for all, even as we sit in the midst of a pandemic.
As you've been seeing, our healthcare system seems to be crumbling underneath this crisis. There is not enough. There's not enough support for the healthcare system. There's not enough support for the American people inside of the healthcare system. Are you now reconsidering your position when it comes to single-payer healthcare?
Single payer will not solve that at all. The thing that is needed is, for example, we have a whole number of hospitals that are being so stretched, including rural hospitals, they're going to need more financing. That doesn't come from a single payer system. That comes from the federal government stepping up and dealing with the concerns that they have, the reimbursement that they're going to get, how they're going to be able to move forward, and how they're going to be able to provide all the needed help that are needed in their communities. This is an opportunity to look at reconstructing the healthcare system in a way that, in fact, can respond more rapidly and more effectively to these kinds of crises, because it's going to come again. We should be spending, and we are spending, a great deal of time and effort finding a vaccine, finding a way that we can deal with preventing these diseases further down the road. But, for example, we had people, when our administration, we had CDC people in other countries because we wanted to anticipate when, in fact, another virus would occur, when, in fact, a pandemic might occur as a consequence of a spreading virus in another country, to act quickly. President, we withdrew those people. I insisted that I didn't insist. I suggested that we should have people in China at the outset of this event. And when it all started in Luhan province, and what happened? We did not insist that they go into the areas we wanted to. So I just, that's all I can do, is do what I know has to be done, say what I know has to be done.
So if you become the nominee and then you do win the general election, a lot of ifs there, how quickly in that matter can you reassemble the pandemic team that the president got rid of?
Very quickly. Very quickly. It could be done very quickly. And that's what my team is talking about right now. How will we do that if we win? And what will we do exactly on day one? How will it start?
All right. All right. First things first, guys. I want to make sure you know that we have word salad available in the back. Joe Biden just offered you a lot of word salad there. Do you like croutons with your word salad? Raisins? Anybody there wants vinaigrette or something creamy? Want something creamy like a blue cheese or something like that? Then maybe we got some yogurt-based dressings to go with the word salad as well, if that's something you prefer. Yeah, Joe Biden's really good at word salad. Talking about things very quickly that mean nothing, to the point where we forgot what the original question was. Oh, yeah, that's right, Joe. She was asking, would you support Medicare for all, given that we're in a pandemic? Has that changed your opinion about Medicare for all? Because we know before the pandemic, when people weren't as concerned, even though it was the number one issue of Democrats, and I think Republicans too. Yeah, I think it's the number one issue of all voters. Healthcare. Any change on that? Nope, not at all. No change whatsoever. Yeah, so you don't think, and he also went on to say that he doesn't believe that if we had Medicare for all, that would help our situation at all. Joe, people being able to go to the doctor without out-of-pocket expenses is huge, okay? I mean, I know you, cushy life, not having to worry about where the next dollar's coming from, not having to worry about if you're going to get enough hours on the check, if the car's going to stay up, or if you're going to have to walk this week, or maybe you have to be sick Thursday and Friday because you don't have any more tokens to ride the bus. Like, we know that you don't understand these problems. That average Americans, working Americans, the ones who can't afford $400 emergency, the 50% of Americans. We know you're out of touch with those people. You don't think that some of the people who didn't get diagnosed until it was probably much later than it should have been? Let's just go with that. You don't think some of those people would have been diagnosed sooner if they could have went to the doctor when their issues or when their symptoms first arrived? You don't think it's possible that there are some people, at least a few people, who may have been like, oh man, I don't feel good. Oh my God, I can't keep nothing down. Let me go to the doctor. Who didn't go because they don't have the money to go and they don't have the money to pay and they don't have the copay or the deductible. I'm talking to a child. What am I doing? I'm talking to a child, guys. Joe Biden's not watching this video, nor does he understand. I'm not speaking in word salad enough. I would have to talk in word salad for Joe Biden to understand what I'm talking about. But you people out there, you understand what I'm getting at, right? There was nothing health-related that would not be helped, more effective, more a solution derived from or added to by removing the barrier of payment. There is nothing in life that isn't eased for people who can't afford the payment by removing the barrier of payment. You understand? And to make the stupid, absurd statement that you don't think that would have any bearing on anything. Money in America just shows you're not trustworthy at all, man. There are people that probably believe that you don't work for the insurance companies. I think you do. I think it's evidenced in this video, and it's been evidenced all along, that you and Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar and all the others who reject Medicare for all, the reasons for doing so are not wholesome, are not rooted in what's better for people, but rooted in what's better for your donors or corporations or whoever you wishes that you serve. That's too clear. And even in a pandemic, even when healthcare is front and center, you don't see it. No, you see it. In fact, you can't see around it. The elephant's ass is right in your face, and you can't see it. So, yeah. It's what it is, guys. It's what it is. What else did he say that was so stupid? Let's see. He said, he said, yeah, we'll just get together. We should focus on a vaccine, and we should just reassemble a pandemic team, Yeah. You would have dragged your feet on it just like anyone else, just like Trump. You'd have dragged your feet. I don't really see much difference between Joe Biden and Trump. I mean, once you do the bidding of corporations, once you put someone else's bidding over the bidding of the people, what difference does it make what party you're with if your first priority is not the people? Okay? Now, I'm not saying that they're exactly the same. I'm not saying that Joe Biden would be a little bit more amenable than maybe Trump on certain things. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, let's not go acting like there's a whole world of difference between Trump serving corporate masters and Biden serving corporate masters. They just be different and sometimes the same. Actually, sometimes they be serving the same people. Okay? The narrative is different. The way the media covered is different, but the result would be the same. And that's my point. And Joe Biden's proven I want to talk nice to the progressives. He'll talk nicey to the progressives just because he thought maybe he could get some votes. But now that Bernie's not dropping out and is showing no signs of dropping out, and he should not drop out, partly because being a candidate for the presidential nomination provides him a bully pulpit where they have to cover him. This helps us all. So anyone with this idea that Bernie's in a way, these people are tools of the establishment. Tools, I tell you. Bernie's not even running against Biden anymore. He's running against the virus. And if you don't understand that is good for people, and that doesn't show you what Bernie's about, then I don't know what other more indication could you get? Maybe you're sitting in front of the elephant with his ass in your face and you're trying to change the remote. You know, the narratives that are painted by the media have a lot of influence over how people see the world and how people see the news and how people see what's relevant in their lives. And that's part of the problem, that we have a corporate media structure that lies to us daily. And I try to remind you, and let me remind you once again, that even the people that you despise, even people that you can't tolerate for more than 2 seconds, or who you couldn't change the station fast enough, or better yet, people in your everyday life who don't agree with you, don't see things eye to eye with you, and you go, God, why you can't see it? Why don't you understand? I want to remind you that they're being lied to every day by a system that spends millions of dollars to do so. I want to remind you that there is a mechanism in place. It's a streamlined mechanism to deliver garbage into their brain that makes them think the way they do. I'm not saying they don't hold any responsibility. In this age of technology, they can seek out new information, but based on algorithms and certain people only see certain things, and for the same reasons why my very good video that I put out today about coronavirus, a real-life story about a misdiagnosis by a doctor giving out shoddy information, only somehow reached a couple of thousand people, though I have a channel that has 145,000 subscribers. People don't always get to dictate what they get to see, do they? People don't always get a fair shake. So I just want to remind you of that. So as they force feed us this garbage, this nonsense, they put these people in front of us to try to control our thought, right? Or as Noam Chomsky says, to manufacture our consent. Andrew Cuomo. That's right, folks. Andrew freaking Cuomo. This guy has been shoved in our faces every day. What's the deal with Andrew Cuomo? Why is Andrew Cuomo all of a sudden somebody I should be paying attention to? Why does he get to talk every day? Why does he matter to me? He doesn't, Johnson. And why does he get to talk as if he's a savior? Maybe they are plotting to yank out Biden at the last moment and throw in Andrew Cuomo. It's possible. It's been back and forth between Donald Trump and Andrew Cuomo a lot lately. Maybe the two New York guys got a little plan of their own. Hey, man, they wouldn't be the first people to come up with a cruddy plan. Here goes Andrew Cuomo talking about stuff.
Track of the equipment might be going out the back door, might not be being used in the proper fashion. I'm curious if you can respond to that directly in terms of what he was implying.
Yeah, the question is that the president suggested that PPE equipment may be going out the back door. First, there is a warehouse in Edison, New Jersey. It's the New York City warehouse. We're creating a stockpile for someone to say, well, the warehouse has equipment in it, you should be using that equipment today. That defies the basic concept of planning and the basic operation that we have to have working, not just in this state, but across the country. If you are not preparing for the apex and for the high point, you are missing the entire point of the operation. It is a fundamental blunder to only prepare for today. That's why, in some ways, we are where we are. We've been behind this virus from day one. You have the scientists and the data projections showing you a curve. The curve goes like this. You're over here. Prepare for the high point of the curve and do it now. When are you going to do it? The night before? What am I going to tell the hospitals when they call up and they say, we just had an influx?
All right. So there you have Andrew Cuomo responding to critiques that were Donald Trump say, hey, we sent you a bunch of PPE, which is personal protective equipment, and you keep asking for more stuff. We send you more stuff, and you say, where's the more stuff? Is it going out the back door? What's going on with the stuff? And Cuomo's saying, well, we're stockpiling the stuff. Just, so we can prepare for the thing. The thing. So this is the conversation going back and forth, okay? And to Cuomo, I will say that Cuomo's right, that you do want to be prepared, but they're playing out this thing in public back and forth because there was Donald Trump just today. I think this was today or was it yesterday?
Michigan. So we can't, we don't like to see the complaints. And I am getting along with Governor Cuomo. I think that a lot of things are being said that are more. I don't think that certain things will materialize. And, a lot of equipment's being asked for that I don't think they'll need. But I'm building, we're building 4 hospitals, 4 medical centers, and many other things. We've developed and sent thousands of ventilators.
There you go. So there you go. That was a couple of days ago. That was probably 3 days ago on Hannity. So that's sort of like what kicked it off. Trump said on Hannity that Cuomo's asking for more stuff. He don't think he's going to need all this stuff. He keeps asking for more stuff. Okay. So then Trump held it. So then Trump responds to Cuomo, who responds, at the end of the day, I want people to know that, yeah, Trump's a jackass, and yeah, he gets it wrong, and he's wrong again. Okay?
Protective gear look like? Chicago anesthesiologist Corey DeBurgrave sent this video. Double gloves, N95 mask, face shield, all, as he demonstrates, needed to protect healthcare workers like himself, whose contact while intubating coronavirus patients is near cheek to cheek.
So as you can see, my head was this close to the patient. So if they're coughing or have any sputum, that's all going right to my face.
It is a far cry from this. A mask stapled together to last till the end of a shift. Nurses in upstate New York being told they get one surgical mask for 5 days because of shortages. And medical personnel getting sick on the front lines.
We have about 41 people in our hospital who have tested positive for the coronavirus.
This week in one New York City hospital, an assistant nurse manager, Kios Kelly, who suffered from asthma, died. His sister said the last time she heard from him was Wednesday.
But he texted and said that he was in the ICU. He had the coronavirus. He said, I can't talk because I choke. He was having difficulty breathing. He said, I'm going to be okay.
Many medical workers are fighting this battle without the thinnest level of protection. The face mask, the plastic face shield, the flimsiest of plastic gowns. That could mean the difference between treating the infected and becoming one of them. Nurse in the Bronx, New York, says she gets one set of gear to last the day.
So I want to just make it clear that, yeah, there's an issue here. And yes, there's a problem with people having the protective gear that they need in order to treat the patients. You're going to have doctors in harm's way. You have doctors getting infected in New York due to lack of equipment. It's not a figment of the imagination. It's not something being conjured up in order to hurt Donald Trump. It's a reality. Now, if there's some equipment that's in a warehouse in New York or wherever it is and Cuomo's not releasing it, that's a problem. Doesn't make much sense for it to sit there when people need it. But Cuomo coming out and saying that, I'm getting tired of people making that seem like that's all that's required to be a president, is if Cuomo could come out and say, hey, where's the mask? Where's the mask at? Because I don't know if you know this or not, but maybe you should know it.
Like Chicago anesthesiologist Corey DeBurgrave sent this video.
Do you think that you maybe frightened some
No,
Americans?
I think we made people aware to stay in your houses and do good. Now we did an advisory. It's a strong advisory. The governors are running the advisory, the 3 governors, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And I think we did a great thing. But all I did yesterday, as you know, you can see it, you can read it, you can read, and you can see very simply that I said that we are looking into it. And then before the end of the evening, substantially, we decided to go with the advisory, which frankly I liked better from the beginning. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 questions. The first is, you've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said that
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said some states.
Why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to
My question to you is,
get you. And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
My question to you is, how is that going to impact?
Excuse me, you didn't hear me. That's why you used to work for the Times and now you work for somebody else. Look, let me tell you something. Be nice. Don't
Mr.
be
President, my
threatening.
question
Don't
is,
be threatening.
Did I not play for you? Did I not? I just played for you the clip where he was on Hannity saying Cuomo was asking for stuff he didn't think he needed, or that he wasn't going to need. So yeah, Yamiche is not one of my okay. I met her. I thought she was an arrogant, pompous, elitist, but she was just asking based on your conversation with Hannity, where you were blabbering on in the freaking interview, and just saying a bunch of random stuff, and you insinuated that they wanted equipment for to sell it on the black market to make a few bucks. I don't know what you were trying to say. All right, so that was kind of pointless. But here's the other point about Cuomo that I think is also important. Cuomo de Blasio clash over possible shelter-in-place system for New York City. Okay? So while people are giving Cuomo all this credit, he's the guy that could lead us, he's the guy, this guy's got it, this guy, that. I got to hear this crap almost constantly from people on Facebook and Twitter, these people who watch CNN and MSNBC and go, thank you for telling me everything I need to know, who never question the source. Never question it. So like something I pointed out earlier, got to question the source, got to realize why the nerd has been put out there. It kind of matters. Weeks before Cuomo saw the light or had an epiphany that maybe we should, I don't know, make people stay in the house because people can get infected and die. Before he did that, he was fighting with de Blasio, who was saying, hey, we need to lock down New York. Yeah. This was in the New York Post, 3/17. Andrew Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio brought the notorious rivalry to a whole new level, clashing over whether to implement a shelter-in-place order for New York City that would severely restrict the movement of most residents to help manage the exploding coronavirus outbreak. Echo, getting excited wanting to expose this shit. Okay. New Yorkers should be prepared right now for the possibility of a shelter-in-place order. That's what Mayor de Blasio said in a press conference on a Tuesday. He said, I believe the decision should be made in the next 48 hours. Cuomo hit back saying it can't happen illegally because, well, no city in the state can quarantine itself without state approval, and I have no interest whatsoever and no plan whatsoever to quarantine any city. So before, Cuomo was coming on TV every day with his water bottle. Hey, listen, hey, listen here. What we need to do is we need to get the trucks in. We need to get the boxes out. We need to get the masks. Give me masks for my people. The people need to survive. And the New Yorkers need to get out the streets. And we need to all work together. You know, before he was doing this crap, I don't really want to go too ethnic. Hey, yeah, we can do a little. You get my point. Cuomo was the same guy who didn't want to lock down New York 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, before he did, de Blasio was asking him not to lock it down. He didn't want to lock it down. He was fighting de Blasio on locking down. De Blasio was like, look, at least let me lock down my own shit because people are going to die. And Cuomo was like, you don't got power. You can't do anything, and I don't want to do it. So it stayed open. More people got infected. And then Cuomo tries to run out after he realized he made a bad call and get in front of it and jump in front of cameras as if now he's the guy saving everybody when it was already told, he was already imploring his ass to lock down New York earlier. Now you're at 1,200 deaths in New York alone. It's the epicenter of cases in the United States now. Some of that should fall on Cuomo for not listening. He made a bad call. So all I'm saying is, put all of your love affair looking. I know we want somebody we can believe in. We like when somebody talk with a stern voice. Believe me, I understand how that works. I talk with a stern voice. It helps not to be a punk. It helps to believe in what you say. But some people talk in a stern voice who are full of it. And Cuomo is often full of it. And what he's doing is performative for cameras. But when it was time to take a chance and lead, truly be a leader, people calling this leadership, then he comes out after the fact, talking about what he needs from Trump. That's not leadership. Leadership would have been locking down New York before the orders were coming out, being the first to do it. He wasn't. My Republican governor in Maryland, Larry Hogan, locked down before he did. And we're not the epicenter of the coronavirus in the United States. So there goes that idea. And I know people want a leader. They want somebody who's going to speak for them. They want somebody to get out front. These are scary times. But let's not, in our essence or in our desire to look for allies and look for help or look for leadership, falsely or dumbly elevate jackasses like Cuomo who don't deserve it. That's all I'm saying. Let's be a little slower with the elevation method. You know, before you make a statue of him and put it in Staples Center or wherever, let's calm down a bit. Calm down. Let's slow down. So yeah. Was there another point to this? Anything else on? I don't know if anything else on Cuomo. That's enough on Cuomo, isn't it? It's enough on Trump, right? Oh, and I was reading an article, guys, and anybody who knows about this, send me any information you have on this. My understanding is Donald Trump sent 18 tons of PPE, which is personal protective equipment, to China. To China. Okay. I sent it to China. I had to send it to China. That's my understanding. Now, he thought we weren't going to need it. I'm looking for confirmation of source material for that. Okay? Because that's sort of a big deal. Like in a regular world, I'm not saying we live in a regular world with normal people. I'm not saying we live with normal people. But in a regular world with normal people, that would sort of be a fireable offense. To like send the equipment that we freaking need and for our people to another country and then leave us without what we need. So I want to verify. Now I saw it, but I couldn't find a source. I heard it. I seen it typed on like CNN, but I didn't see where they got the numbers from and how they had proof that was sent. Because that's sort of a big story. Like, why aren't we talking about that? Like, really? So that's why I question it. Right? Anybody know about it? Someone said that's not true. Look, it's crazy. Noel said that's not true, and right under it, directly under it, Larry said he did. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm not joking, guys. The commenter on top said that's not true. The commenter underneath said yes, he did. That's what I run into all the time. Okay. All right, guys, remember, tomorrow is Tim Black Tuesdays. That means the phone lines will open tomorrow and every Tuesday, guys. Just like on Freedom Friday, where you can call up and you can voice your opinion about any issue that concerns, politics or community, culture, whatever, okay? That's what it's for. That's what we talk about on this show. Lately, the focus has obviously been the coronavirus. I'm hearing it stated that part of the reason why America is leading the number of cases is that we have ramped up our testing, and that some other countries are not being so forthcoming with their data or fudging their data. I don't know what the case is. I'm not here to make us win the infected Olympics, okay? I'm not. I take no joy in us leading in having the most infections. I don't feel like it helps my case against Trump or against Republicans or anything like that, because that's not what I'm in it for. I'm just trying to report accurate information. It's not about, does this make Trump look bad? Okay? So that's, but so I just want you to know that that's some conflicting information there about the number of cases and what that really is. All right. Now, before I let you go, if you're watching this show, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to be safe. That's it. Oh, you thought I was going to ask you for money? No. That's later. That's tomorrow. But today, no, seriously, guys, seriously. Do me a favor, all right? If you can afford to stay home, stay home. Tim, they got you. You believe the propaganda. Yeah, I do. I believe it. Stay home for me, bro. Hey, where you going, man? Take a load off. If you can afford to stay home, sister, stay home. All right? That's all I'm saying. I would consider it a favor. All right? I will owe you one. All right? Because I think this thing's going to get worse. All right? And I care about my people, and we're building a community, and we need all the members of the community. So if you could avoid going out, that'd be great. And anything you bring in, wash it with soapy water and disinfect it and undisinfectant and all that stuff. Let's take precautions. There are videos that speak to the best way to disinfect. So let's do that. Typically, I start shows with a coronavirus update. I didn't do that today, but it's still relevant. It's still relevant. All right, now I want to go to the comment section, guys, and read your comments to the world, or to everybody watching. To our world, right? To the Tim Black world, all right. Hey, thank you for joining, Mary Bishop. Welcome to the Tim Black Wolfpack. Alan Rosen, welcome to the Wolfpack, Rosen. Thank you, sir. Richard Johnson, thank you, Richard. Talk about Jimmy Dore complaining independent media pushing one candidate. He bashes Bernie and gets 5K more viewers. Yeah. 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 I don't know. Thank you, David. Nothing. I don't know what to say, man. What's to say? I disagree with him. Jar. Tim, don't also go against AOC. You're above this. Moving on. Marcus, look, everyone, a lot of you need to stop worshiping the idols of the movement, support the actual movement. Damn, look what's happening. You're letting it happen. Look at this. You're letting it happen. You are doing it. You're splitting yourselves. Look at this guy. Look what I'm saying. This is the this is the intention of the article. I mean, besides clicks and views and shit, okay? Besides advertising revenue, okay? The intention of the article is to cause what just happened, which is for this guy who didn't even wait to watch my take to tell me, you're better than this, don't turn against AOC, as if me criticizing her would be turning against her. I never turned for her, so there's no turning against her. I don't live in New York. I never voted for her. And I can criticize anybody I want, sir. Anyone. Prepare for that. I'm married to one person. I take that back. But even then, we can disagree, okay? So let's not do that. Part of this show is the reality of this show, what I'm about. Let me let you know this, sir. What I'm about is not kissing ass and not being worried about, you're gonna hurt the nigga, you're gonna say something to me. No. Don't be that way. If you disagree. But we gotta call it as we see it. And then the other person's like totally threw under the bus. I did neither, really. Not really. Kerry. Thank you, Kerry Capitello. Say it so, AOC. Princess Queen, really great show, Tim. AOC has been moving, shifty. Yeah. And I tried, look, and I understand the perception of that, and I'm trying to give her an opportunity to correct that, and I am addressing it. And what we'll do now is we will continue to address it. But what she also has done is some stuff that's not shifty. Get what I'm saying? So I'm aware of both. So we can be aware of both things, right? So that's it. I'm touring with AOC, man. It's not the first time. That's fair. Greg Rankin, what's up, man? Kind of like people, men and women, that want to dismiss Joe Biden's most recent accuser as some kind of political ploy. Where you going with this, Joe? Greg? They're willing to trade one rapist for another. There's no such thing as the lesser of two evils. Well, yeah, that's... oh, come on, man. Okay, Greg. I'm hoping you're not comparing if AOC wanting to work with Nancy Pelosi to a rapist. Like, I dislike Pelosi on a lot of stuff, right? Okay, fine. But to compare that, like, to Tara Reid, like Joe Biden? Come on, man. No, I don't mean the same thing, but yeah, I know it just sounds bad. Sounds bad. Don't do it. Chester Williams, I hope AOC is smart enough to see this basic divide and conquer tactics, separate her from the progressive base so no one rallies around her when the Democratic establishment ends her political career. There you go. That's the type of thinking that she needs to have, and I believe she did not sanction the article. So that's what they're trying to do. I see it the same way, Chester, but the other way, okay? I see them trying to divide the left. Not AOC. She's making decisions and doing things, right? I don't think her goal is to divide the left. Whose goal would it be to divide the left? I'm not saying some of her moves weren't suspect or questionable, depending on your lens. But what I'm saying is her goal to divide the left? I don't think it is, Johnson. See what I'm saying? But what are their goals? And similar to some other people, what were their goals? When they were throwing Bernie under the bus, every video, 45 minutes, constant ranting about how horrible Bernie was. What was their goal? Was their goal to improve Bernie? Was their goal to make Bernie a stronger candidate? Was that their goal, really? So intention matters. We can't expect perfection, but we can expect good intentions, right? Right? Can we expect that? Can we demand that? Can we hold people accountable for having good intentions? I think we can. I think that is the most reasonable barometer in which to measure a person. What was their intention? And it is intention that makes me come for you. It's not so much if you made a mistake. Everybody make mistakes. Tanya says, you're right on with AOC, Johnson. On Mike Brooks' show, I got him to say he likes your show. Do you think left media should be joining the further reach for new platform to stay as it is separate? I've been burnt so often. Mike was supposed to come on this show. Or vice versa, right? I like Mike too. You know, we talked in DMs. It's just I've been burned so often. It's like, you know, I've been through so many wars. Every time I turn around, it's something, man. Every time I turn around, it's something, you know. But hopefully we can work it out, you know. But Mike's doing great work. He's doing great work. He's getting bigger, and he's doing stuff. He's making moves, and congratulations to him. And I think for the most part, we have pretty similar, and our takes similar. But I think he's a good actor. I think he has good intentions, which is most important. So, Richard May, Sleepy Joe, Goobly Goop, sprinkled with malarkey. Hey, man, everyone listen, remember Pete on Rompicone. It will help you laugh, and remember we are all on the same side. Well, I hope so, A-Mans. Our theme, Tim, the story's true. It's on the U.S. Department of State website. Athena, thank you, Athena. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She says, I think she's telling me that the story's true about the sending of the equipment. It just so happens to be the equipment we needed. Now we need to know when, right? Was this sent with the knowledge that this was going on? And I guess it was, right? But I need to confirm some stuff. Artificial morphosman. What is all three, Trump, Biden, Bernie, catch COVID, and Bernie survives it? Will the DNC still pick Cuomo over Bernie at the convention? I don't know. They're pretty establishment creatures. I don't know. Charles Washington. COVID-19 deaths are now greater than 9/11 deaths. Wow. Over 2/3 of the deaths occurred in the past 5 days alone. Making things. COVID holocaust of neglect. What's up, Greg? What'd you say, Greg? Did you clarify something for us, Greg? What's up? I was comparing Biden and Trump, not AOC. Peace. Oh! All right. Biden and Trump. Okay. Thank you, man. Greg, thank you, brother. See what I'm saying? Thank you, man. Because, I don't know. Appreciate you clearing that up for me, man. Like, what? It's like, God, shit, that's not what I meant, man. That's not what I No. Don't say that. Okay. Good stuff, man. Look, remember this, guys. It's still no joke, okay? Still no joke. But we got Trump. Yeah, no joke. Don't want Trump? Go Bernie. Yeah, go Bernie. You know? There you go. Problem solved. Problem solved. We got a solution. I'm not crazy. It's not like I'm so rigid. It's not like I'm not without, debate. We can have a conversation. Go Bernie. There you go. Now you don't have to get Trump, okay? Cool. We good here? We good. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody who you didn't phone up. Thank you, everybody who super chatted or joined the group, joined the Tim Black Wolfpack. Well, I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow about the same time. Thank you, Artificial Morphism. Who do you think the Washington will pick for Biden's VP? Senator Anita Turner? No. I don't know, man. But people need to stop talking about Stacey Abrams like she's a great pick. Boy, these people, man, all they do is look at people and go, is this the right color? Is this the right sex? Okay. Right gender, right orientation? Okay. You want to see what they stand for? No, we don't need to. That's good enough. You're a woman. You're black. Good enough. You're gay and you're white. Good enough. You're Latina and you're trans. Perfect. All right. Get in there and do our bidding. And they're like, okay, sure, no problem. Who won? When we still lose? That's what you don't get. It doesn't matter who's stabbing you in the back if they still have the same knife. Doesn't matter. It's like, a black woman stabbed me. I feel better now. At least a black woman stabbed me in the back. No. Not if you had a wherewithal to know you're about to get stabbed. It'd be different. At least if you are fooled, like if you believe that they are, a trans person stabbed me. I feel better about myself. Oh, I'm dying knowing I didn't discriminate. What? Get what I'm saying, guys? Understand what I'm saying? This is the mentality of these people. We got to do better. We have to demand they do better. We have to demand better. You know what I'm saying? We have to demand it. Chester, you understand what I'm saying, Chester? Chester, I know you get it. Clarity, the goals of the Dem establishment are the KOK AOC divide the progressive movement. Right. And they're not using AOC to do it. Right. They're going to They try. I felt like when I looked at the article, I had to really give it time and let it digest. First question, why they wrote the article? There you go. Let's start doing that with everything, like going, okay, when they wrote this, why'd they write this? Right? Why they write it? Who wrote it and why? Who they write it for? Who's supposed to read it? Those questions need to be asked, especially for such an important article. All right. Has AOC responded to it? And when Justice Democrats respond to it, when Faiz respond to it, they're all positive. Interesting. You guys are smart as hell. I love you. I'll see you soon. Stay safe. Till next time. Facebook people. Freddie, what's up, Freddie? Freddie Fry in the house. Steve Wolfenbrandt. Sophia. Hey, look, Steve said, Gilbert, Tim's not always punctual. Hey, look, that's an understatement. You know what I'm saying? That's an understatement. But thank you, Steven, for saying it so smooth, man. Saying it so smooth. I love you, bruh.